Next up, we are going to talk about another channel favorite,
Yeah.
Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner is a friend of the channel. We have a
Yes,
few
she
friends of the channel. We got Brittany Renner, we got Kanye, uh, people who are just
Lizzo.
content. Lizzo, that's another one. Yeah, content factories for the channel. And Brittany Renner is definitely a content factory for the channel. So shouts out to you, Brittany Renner, for helping us out. But before we get into this topic, once again, I want to say if you're watching this video, uh, we definitely invite you to join the community, join the Conscious Approach community, man. We appreciate your support, logical content. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, comment on this video. Let us know where we going crazy. Let us know where we hit it out of the park. But for sure, join the community, hit that subscribe button. We certainly appreciate it. So now, moving along, Brittany Renner was a guest on a podcast. I'll have to look up the name of this podcast and put the link to it in the description of this video once I do. But Brittany Renner was talking about, essentially she was talking about not wanting to be single, but it's hard out here, and so it's going to take a man who is courageous enough to date her. This man is going to have to be strong and courageous enough to be with her. And so it's a short clip here, but you get the gist of what she was getting at, and then we'll go ahead and provide our analysis.
I get that going.
Who's going to have the courage to love unapologetically, to tune out all of that noise? She's a whore. She's gonna use you. You're such a simp. Who as a man? And I've told you 30 people, doesn't matter if it's 30 or 300. I've said certain things publicly that I'm gonna stand on. What man is gonna feel secure enough to date me, feel good enough to be my man, to not feel inadequate and want to talk to other people? It's so multi-layered to where it's like, it's not, people think it's someone in the industry or not. They think it's that simple. It's not.
So how do you?
All right, there you go. Yeah.
And this
So,
is Anton Daniels. That's the name of his channel.
Got it. Anton Daniels. So yeah. Who's gonna have the courage? Who's gonna be strong enough? Who's not going to feel inadequate, or who's gonna feel good enough to be with me? Is what she was getting at there. And so, obviously, the history of Brittany Renner at this point is extensive. We won't get into the history. You can look her up and her antics. But yeah, so clearly she's someone who wants to be wifed up. And I'm not putting words in her mouth. She said that she does want to be wifed up. She speaks as though she is about that wifed up, domesticated life. Now, her behavior and her actions may suggest otherwise, but I'll leave that up for you to decide. She nevertheless talks about wanting this for herself. And so whenever she gets an opportunity to speak on this and, some of the challenges that she's experiencing therein, she doesn't hesitate to offer up, her thoughts on that. And so that's what that was there. So interested to hear what your response is to what Brittany Renner had to say about that.
Well, I would like to say, how can I say this? So, she's clearly speaking in code there, her form of code, thought code, and basically, casting a net out there for anybody who may be watching or paying attention, to actually try to wife her up. I think she's caught such a bad rap in these streets that the things that she's saying, that she's a whore, she's this, she slept with this many people, you can't trust her, all of these things. But these were all things that she said on all of her lives or her videos, or her just being open and candid. She was basically exposing herself, and then men who are watching this are telling other men, hey, don't go deal with that. she clearly says she's about XYZ type of lifestyle. So don't entertain her and don't give her the wifey title because, yeah, bruh, you going to be out here looking like a simp and a duck because everybody knows her history. She told us. So right now, I felt like this, little spill here was some form of damage control in order to make sure that, anybody with a listening ear goes, man, you know what? She right. You know what I'm saying? I'll give her a try. I'll give that a try. But this is the same type of talk that she would have given any kind of man who would have been in her close quarters that she didn't, smash off the rip because he wasn't a ball player or whatever. And then so since this is the type of talk that most, women of the evening do. So I find it hard to believe that she's wifey material unless you have a different definition of what a wife is. And if you have a more traditional form of what you think a wife is, she doesn't fit it. She been done past that line. So if they have a more modern approach on how to deal with, women like her and they wife her up, but they have some type of understanding that it's going to be an open type of situation, but they're still together, then I think that is the lane that she needs to exist in. But to sit here and holler that um he feels like he has to go holler at other bitches and stuff because she's doing her thing. Well, what do you expect? I mean, you're like I said, your life story is already out there. So how can a man really trust you and say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything because my wife, Brittany Renner, isn't doing anything? And it's just like, yeah, bro, you do sound like a simp. You do sound like a dork. And yeah, so if anybody out there is buying this, which I don't think they are, then yeah, they belong in the simp category. So what were your initial thoughts with this one?
Yeah, she's been on a tour
Mm-hmm.
of this type of stuff for a while. Pretty much ever since the PJ Washington thing, she's been
Mm-hmm.
on a, I wonder sometimes, and this is pure speculation on my part, but I wonder sometimes if she had never had a child, whether she would be so apt to take every opportunity that she can to talk about what it's going to take in order for her to find relationship happiness. I truly do wonder, like, having kids changes a lot and it changes people and it changes your situation. And, I just wonder sometimes if she didn't have a child, would she still be doing this? Would she still be up to the same stuff? Um, you know, I, you know, I am of the belief that if she had never had a kid, we wouldn't be hearing her talking about being wifed up or being a mother or well, she's already a mother, but or being in a relationship, married, and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like that I feel like that rhetoric has increased in frequency from her over the last couple of years because her life circumstances changed. That's my personal opinion. Because whether it doesn't matter what she's on. One of these dating podcasts, or which she was with Kevin Samuels before he passed away. She was even on Cam Newton's YouTube show twice, and this always comes up. And she basically talks the same talk in every video. And this is all post-child, post PJ Washington. So I kind of feel like she'll never admit this publicly, but I feel like having the child changed a lot of this for her, because as a woman, you have less leverage to go around operating your life in this way, if this is something that you truly want for yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
said this a couple videos ago. Everybody thinks they have time until they don't have time. And when you become a parent, your window of opportunity drastically decreases in every respect. So, damage control is a pretty effective way to characterize it. I do think that a lot of this is going on, but Brittany Renner to me is just kind of she's trying to circumvent the system, which is what a lot of people out here who think that they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want to say, behave whatever in however manner they want to behave, because the rules must not apply to you. These people out here who just want social and civil anarchy, uh, they do what they do, and then in retrospect, when they regret it because they see how some of it has cost them in certain respects, they want to walk it back and talk about how they are deserving of certain things, but they're seeing the treatment that they get. So in order to try and convince people that they are deserving, they turn it around and make it about those individuals. So Lizzo, for example, with the body positivity stuff, trying to reinvent the wheel. Like, listen, if you're going to dress the way that you dress, I've said this a zillion times and I'll keep saying it. If you're going to dress the way that you dress, accept that people are going to say things about you, because when you are your size and shape and you go out in public and you're half naked, people are going to have their critiques. That, in my opinion, does not constitute body shaming. It just means get with the program. Like, if you're going to dress like that, you should probably work on yourself physically so that it would make more sense that you dress that way. And Brittany Renner, in my opinion, is kind of trying to do the same thing, but on the relationship front. Like, I don't live in the world of hypotheticals. I don't live in a parallel universe. I live in the world as it is, as it is constructed presently. I don't live in the world of rainbows and unicorns. This is not pie in the sky. This is the real world. And in the real world, writing a book detailing the dozens of men that you slept with in the entertainment and professional sports world is not going to help you get a respectable husband and live that white picket fence lifestyle. It's just the reality. And I know that we don't want that to be the reality because we want anarchy. We want people to be OnlyFans models and Instagram models and slur it up in the entertainment industry, but still be respected and looked upon as a viable wife and mother. That's what we want. But what we want isn't what we get all the time. And what we get is what the real world is. And I'm sorry to Brittany Renner and others who do want this social anarchy. But when you do these types of things, there are consequences to be had from that. You're going to have to pay a price. So you wrote this book talking about all of these dudes that you smashed, and you did it proudly. And kudos to you, because it paved the way. It was a part of your career, and you've had a fruitful career up to this point, and you're self-made. So I respect that about you. Like, I honestly do. But there's a price to pay for everything. Sacrifices have to be made. And you get what you get based upon your behavior and your actions. You've had a fruitful career. You've lived in the limelight. You've been able to pilot around in the entertainment industry. You've done your thing, and you've made money, and you're self-sufficient. Kudos to you. But the manner in which you've gone about doing it's consequential in terms of the long run, wanting to be this domesticated wife and mother. There's a price to be paid for that. And unfortunately for you, most men who have the qualities that you seek in terms of guys that you would like to be with are going to look at those choices that you've made and deem them to be undesirable in terms of whether I want to marry this person or not, in terms of whether I want to procreate with this person or not. Like, we don't live in a perfect world. This is not the world according to Brittany Renner, right? Just like it's not the world according to JV Wins, and it's not the world according to Dogon SS. I would love to be able to date, have sex, and marry, supermodels and be broke. I would love to live in that world. I honestly would. Like, if somebody came to me tomorrow and said, JV Wins, I'm going to give you the opportunity to date the most beautiful women in the world, and you don't have to have $1 to your name, I'm going to take that. But you know what's going to happen after I accept it? I'm going to wake up, and it's going to be the real world where I cannot date women of that caliber if I come to the table with no resources and no finances. I don't necessarily love that that's the way the world is, but I've accepted it. That is how the world is. If I want to be out here getting with, women who, look like Ashanti in her prime, or Lori Harvey, or you could throw women like that all over the place. If I want to be able to get with women like that, I'm going to have to build myself up so that socioeconomically I can operate in those spaces and date those women. And until I do, I'm not going to have that chance. That's the way the real world is. Do I like it? Not necessarily, but it is what it is. And conversely, when you're a woman, make your own decisions, do your thing. Modern feminism, all of that good stuff, good for you. But if you pray tell to be someone who cares about being married and being a family woman, think twice before you write a book about having sex with over 20 or 30 guys in the entertainment industry and the professional sports world. Like there's a price to be paid for doing this. And again, and like in the last topic, we talked about people who make mistakes in life, right? So you're more than like everybody makes mistakes, and that's entirely understandable. But she sustained a track record for this for years
Yep.
before she decided that she wanted to change up her tune and offer up something different to the world. And after a certain point, like the damage is done. So, it's interesting. Like you brought up this new world stuff and this new human stuff. Like, yeah, maybe she's gonna have to consider being a part of a polyamorous relationship or being in an open marriage. You're gonna have to consider these things, and this is a bed that you made for yourself. So it is what it is. You can't jump in a DeLorean and go back in time and fix it. You already wrote the book. You already smashed the rappers. You already did what you did with the NBA players and the NFL players. You already did it. So like you can't walk it back. So you're just gonna have to make the best of a situation. Because it is what it is, man. But people need to stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Like this is not the world as you think it should be. It's the world as it is. And one more thing, at the tail end of that clip, she talked about it not necessarily having to be with men in the industry, and that's a common misconception that she's one of those women who just has to date a baller or a rapper or something like this. And I've heard her say that before, so at least she's consistent in that she's said that kind of stuff publicly in the past. But her behavior suggests the complete and utter opposite. So
Exactly.
it's like I don't know what you expect people to do, Brittany Renner. Like publicly, every man that you've been associated with has been a rapper, an NBA player, or an NFL player every time. So, like, and she says they don't have to be men in the entertainment industry, but when it's not a guy who's in the entertainment industry, there's difficulty with how to navigate with her lifestyle. I find that hard to believe. I really do. Like, I think that some of that is cap. Like, I find it hard to believe that you don't have some rich real estate guys in Brittany Renner's DMs, or guys who make a lot of money, but they're just not in entertainment or sports. I don't know, real estate guys, guys who own car dealerships, guys who own certain businesses, other entrepreneurs. I find it hard to believe that those guys aren't in Brittany Renner's DMs. I really do. And maybe I'm saying that facetiously, and maybe she really doesn't. But I find it hard to believe that the only guys who are coming at you are entertainer guys and athlete guys. I don't buy that. I don't believe it. I think that there's a part of her, much like Lolo Jones, who we talked about weeks ago, who genuinely desires to only be with those types of guys. Publicly, it sounds good to say something that's different, but I think in her mind and in her heart, that's what she's going after. Because if you really wanted to do this family thing, there's a bunch of guys who would still, despite your baggage, be willing to take on said challenge that you spoke of. But you probably disqualify a lot of them because of whatever it is that they do for a living or what they got. I don't know. I'm just saying a woman who physically looks the way she looks, some ain't adding up. I don't know that I buy what she's selling in that regard. So I think some of that is dishonesty on her part. But again, that's reckless speculation on my part. The bigger picture point is you're going to have to accept the bed that you made, and you've made this bed. So make the best of the situation, make the best of it. But this idea that you're just going to get this angelic traditional guy who's going to disregard everything that you've put out there over an extensive period of time, I think that is, um, I think that you're fooling yourself if that's what your expectation is. And I think that it's a little low to try and flip it around and make it about a guy not having enough courage or not feeling adequate enough. Like, don't switch it around and make it a shaming tactic towards men. Like, no, that just because guys don't want to deal with you does not mean that they feel inadequate or not good enough or that they lack in courage. It's just you've made these choices in your life and this is the price that you pay for them. And so you're just going to have to live with that.
No, well said. But that's what women like her do. So they, like you said, they since there is no leverage. If you know what they're about, they don't have any leg up on you to lie to you about, you know, their body count or, the type of lifestyle that they live or whatever. So they try to call out, and say that you're insecure or you're not, you're not firm enough in your masculinity to handle a woman like me. And it's just like, hey, newsflash, woman, not every woman is like you. So
Right.
I don't have to deal with this type of behavior if I don't want to. So you can't shame me into dating you just because you don't have any other options. And like you said, you made this bed, so go lay in it. You already got 3 or 4 guys in there anyway. So just go in there and have a ball because that's all you do any damn way. So when it comes to her and her actually, trying to these are cries for what normal people have. And she tries to glorify a slut lifestyle. She posted, hide your kids when she went to the Jackson
Hide your
State game.
son. Hide
Yeah,
your son.
hide
Yeah.
your sons. She
Yeah.
posted that. Post baby. And she posted that because she lives this lifestyle of trying to make, the slut type of lifestyle seem trendy and cool. But then on the flip side, she has these cries for help saying that I want to be a wife. You don't. But that's the sad reality of most whores is that they live this lifestyle and they can't control themselves, but deep down inside they want the picket fence and 2.3 kids and a dog. But it's just like, hey, look, I'm sorry, but you are way too far down that trail in order to double back and say that, hey, my bad, mulligan. There's no mulligan on your
Yeah.
walls. Those things are worn. And especially like you said, when you wrote a book chronicalizing the amount of stuff and bragging about it.
Yeah.
So what man in his right mind would wife you up and never explore his options? Because clearly she will. So yeah, I mean, I don't know who's buying this. Like I said earlier, I don't know who's buying this but a simp. And so um if there is a situation where, like you said, a polyamorous open situation, then go for it. That's her best shot. And
Hmm.
so instead of sounding like a fool and saying that, hey, I'm a wife. No, you're not. And anybody can be a wife. So what does wife mean to you? You know, it does. And so if she is actually a wife, are you going to be loyal? Are you going to shut all of this crazy stuff down? No, no, this is how I pay the bills. You saw the what commercial was that? It wasn't Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A would never have her as a sponsor. I forgot what company it was, but I seen it during a college football game, and it said she said something about these are the only side chicks that's hotter than me, and it was some chicken sandwich. And so she even in her ads in her promo in
Wait,
her
this is Brittany Renner?
yeah.
Oh no, I ain't seen that. No.
Oh, bro. She said the
This was
only
like on
side
this was an ad that came on like TV.
TV, sir.
Oh
While I'm
wow.
watching while I'm watching college football, she said the only side chick's hotter than me, and she pointed to some chicken sandwiches from someplace.
Oh, I gotta look this up. No, I ain't seen
Yeah,
that.
nah, it's on there. It's on the webs. Go search it up. And so this is her persona. This is her persona, and so she's gonna say, "Hey, the only reason." So if Simp A decides to go, you know what, Brittany Renner, I'm gonna give you a fair shot. Let's go do this. and puts a ring on her, right? Then she goes out and then she does something crazy like she did in Rolling Loud, make some crazy post like she did at the Jackson State game. Then here comes Simp A. Hey, I thought you said you weren't going to do that. Come on, this is how I pay the bills. You bring in your part, I bring in mine. This is part of my brand. That doesn't mean I'm really doing this stuff. If Simp A really's going for this still, then he deserves his name in Simp A.
Yes.
So so yeah, this whole and I don't have anything against her personally. You know, the thing that I have an issue with is the denial and the fact that she's trying to really pull the wool over our eyes to make it seem like she's catching a rough deal, a raw deal, but she's not. And she's literally gotten the hand. She dealt for herself. She literally went through the deck, put all the cards out on the table, and said, "These are the cards I want." And then they're mad that everybody knows the hand that she has, and nobody wants to play with her. This is your fault. So I don't have an issue with Brittany Renner per se. I have an issue with the mentality that she has, the narcissism she has, and the fact that she's trying to normalize this type of goofy behavior. There's a lot of young ladies that are watching this who idolize her for whatever reasons, and she's out here preaching this weird gospel. Now those same type of slores are going to be running around saying, "Yeah, I'm a wife too," and it's like, no, you're not. You follow the Brittany Renner. What's that girl name with the bald head? The
Amber
slut walk,
Rose.
and the
Amber
Amber
Rose.
Rose, all of that
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? The Diamond 2000 body lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's about to be a favorite on the channel too.
Yeah.
She's talking all this crazy stuff.
Yep.
So I can't subscribe to that. And any dude that's going out there that is subscribing to that, he has some deeper issues than I can fix. So yeah, man, this she's gonna keep this up, this charade up, because honestly, she has no choice. People who live a slutty lifestyle are miserable people. And anybody that's out here that, oh yeah, I don't, dudes included, and you out here slaying all these females and stuff, those dudes are miserable. You got hellified stories to tell. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of good memories of this type of body type, that type of girl, this type of girl, that type of menage or whatever. But at the end of the day, that man wants a family too. And so that woman ultimately wants a family, because just like that woman that was in her car that we covered when she was 40 something years old, crying because she's actually reaching a crossroads in her life when things are getting real and there's nobody there to share it with her. There's nobody there to support her. And so Brittany Renner, with all of her you know, publicity and her trying to, just say that, hey, I'm a real woman just like any other. She can say that and keep it. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm over it, and yeah, I don't know how many people are buying it, but I just think that I find it hard to believe that she has no suitors. It's just she knows that I feel like the quality of the suitors that are coming to her, she knows it's not what she wants, but it's like, look, this is what you're gonna get because of your previous behavior. So I just think that you're just gonna have to make the best of the situation. And as weird or crazy as it may seem, you're going to probably, in all likelihood, have to concede that your best bet is finding some baller or rapper or entertainer who's willing to wife you, because that's the only kind of relational compatibility that you're going to find at this point. In all likelihood, it'll be toxic and dysfunctional. But that's your best bet if what you're really seeking is a ring. But you can't, it's hard to readjust to a civilian life. You can't serve in the armed forces for 40 years and then, discharge yourself and now you're out in the real world trying to be a civilian. There's certain PTSD elements that are going to come into play.
exactly.
And I just feel like for her, this is just, she's keeping it together as best she can, even though she melts down too, because she has some posts that she did where she started crying and all kind of stuff like that. So she's prone to her meltdowns as well. where she'll publicly just start crying in a post or something like that. But yeah, there's an emptiness there. When you live like that, it's good in the moment, but then there's that
Right.
empty feeling that you feel when it's over,
Yep.
and that emptiness is going to persist as
Yep.
long as you keep doing it. But the problem is, once you try to turn over a new leaf and do things different, it's hard to be a different person.
Yep.
And like I said, if this was the perfect world, people would look past all that and just say, "Oh yeah, she is wifey material and wife quality." This is not that. This is the real world where people determine your behavior and your actions and your history in terms of, and they use that to formulate your relative value in terms of being a wife and all of that kind of stuff, domesticated and being a mother and so on and so forth. So good luck to her, but I think she has an uphill battle to climb, and she's going to have to reevaluate her approach to this whole thing because look no further than some of the video vixens from the 90s and 2000s. A lot of them chicks still single their damn self.
Yep.
Uh, it's only so you can only be all of these women: Vita Guerrera, Gloria Velez, Melissa Ford. Ain't now one of these women married. And there's a reason for that. So good luck. I guess keep up the good work. But you got a lot of hard work ahead of you, and it is what it is.
Pun intended.
For real. It pun 100% intended. Um, but yeah, and a man's reluctance to take that baggage on is not indicative of their lack of adequacy or courage or masculinity or security. That's a you problem. Don't
Yep.
project that. That's a you
Yep.
problem.
Yep.
So it is what it is, man. With that, we are going to go ahead and close out this week's topics. Certainly appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. This was a good show, man. Mario's on location. I mean, Dogon, he's on location this week. He's
I'm
on
here.
location this week, man. Yeah. So
Y'all see the beach? I'm in Miami.
yeah. He done snuck down to the motherland, man. So appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. As always, my name is JV Wins. That is Dogon SS. You can follow Conscious Approach on the website, consciousapproach.com. That is a full content library. As we like to stress, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment, let us know where we went crazy, let us know where you agree. Just start the dialogue, man. We always want everybody to join in on this community of sport and logical content. If you're watching this video on the meta page, like the page, share the video, also comment on this video as well. Certainly appreciate that. You can follow me on Instagram at JVWins, and you can follow Conscious Approach on Instagram at ConApproach, ConApproach. We will create the RSS audio feed, and we're going to start uploading the broadcast to Spotify and anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. So be on the look for that. That's coming down the pike very soon. And also, we are going to start a TikTok for the channel. It's been a long time in coming. I'm not the biggest fan of TikTok. However, it is a video platform, and we do create good videos. Dare I say we create good ass videos. I'll even go so far as to say that. So they deserve to be seen, and we deserve to be heard. So be on the lookout for that. It's coming soon, man. All of it to drive everybody back to this, which is the hub right here on the YouTube page. So until next time, I, as always, appreciate everybody for supporting logical content.
Yes, man. And the name is Dogon SS. You can find me on YouTube at Dogon SS or on Instagram at Dogon_SS. And like we stated earlier, tis the NBA season, tis NFL, and also college football. So Dogon also be playing on DraftKings. You can find me over there at Dogon_SS. Come over and get slaughtered. All right. And like I always say, every pod, man, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it even, kill, keep it calm, keep it chill, and keep it player. All right. And don't live that fast food lifestyle dealing with these people. All right. Because that what's that is that Big Mac, that fillet of fish, it tastes delicious when you're eating it. All right. That Taco Bell, all right, that double wrap supreme or whatever the hell they got out there. Yeah, it tastes good going in. All right. But you feel like crap the next day. All right. So just make sure, man, you don't live a fast food lifestyle. Try your best to have some substance going on, man, lest you end up like Brittany Renner's. All right. So we really appreciate you guys for watching, man. Hitting the like button and subscribing and hitting that bell notification. Like we always say, man, we really appreciate you guys watching some logical content, and make sure you guys always support. And until next time, y'all, I'm out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So until next week, until the next video, we'll catch you on the flip side. We'll see you later. Peace.
Peace. Skirt, skirt.